I just watched The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, who is. I've actually never seen anything written by him before. I know he's written a lot of really critically acclaimed stuff. I've just never seen anything. This is my first, and I loved it. I thought it was really good, and the screenplay was fantastic. I can completely understand why he's so popular, because it seems to me like he writes about lots of very, very highbrow, like clever stuff. He writes about politics and about law and the media and things I just don't really know anything about. But so this, I was a bit worried I wouldn't really follow it, especially because I actually don't know anything about the trial of the Chicago 7. I do now, but I was a bit worried. I heard some people saying that if you didn't know about it going in, you might be a bit confused because it kind of acts as if you already know. But I actually didn't feel that at all. I feel like I got a very good grasp of the situation. I think Aaron Sorkin did something really clever. It seemed like he didn't reveal information until it was necessary. Like they could have very easily done the stuff before the trial, that what led up to it, right, or at the start, or done it chronologically. And if it was chronological, I think it would be very hard to follow if you don't know about it, because you would just forget stuff constantly. But when it's relevant in the trial, they show you the scene. They flash back. So the fact it's non-linear makes it less confusing instead of more, I find. So basically it's about these seven. It's kind of eight actually. They were often called the Chicago Eight. I know in other adaptations for film it's the Chicago Eight, but it's 7 or 8 men who were part of a anti-Vietnam War protest which got out of hand and became a riot, and there was police brutality, and it's basically them trying to claim their innocence. It wasn't a premeditated violent attack. It was meant to just be a peaceful protest. But they're fighting against the judge, Julius Hoffman, who is very clearly biased. He's very against them, and he wants them to be guilty, and he's just constantly objecting to everything they say. And I think what's very clever about it, as someone who didn't know what it was, I didn't know anything about the case. Out of the, let's say 8 instead of 7, 8 out of the 8 of them, 3 of them are very clearly scapegoats, but the others, Tom Hayden, Abby Hoffman, Rennie Davis, Jerry Rubin, and David Dellinger, you're not sure whether or not they are working together and they do know each other and it's a conspiracy, or whether or not it is a coincidence. They're just separate people. I mean, you know that a couple of them have met, whereas the other 3 are very, very obviously scapegoats. I also don't know very much about the Vietnam War. All I know is, from what I've seen, is it seems like a very bad thing. That I don't like Vietnam movies on the whole, because they tend to just be American propaganda, and so I really like how the protagonists are anti-Vietnam War protesters. But I maybe thought it was a little bit poor Americans as opposed to poor Vietnamese women and children who they're napalming, although they did mention it at the start. Eddie Redmayne's character did bring it up. The performances across the board were absolutely phenomenal. I thought the absolute best performance was Frank Langella, who played the judge. He made me hate him. He's a brilliant actor, and he was great in that. But also brilliant were Eddie Redmayne, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Mark Rylance, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. They were all fantastic, but so was everyone. I thought Sacha Baron Cohen, who funnily enough was the person who has been nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Golden Globes, which was last night. I thought was the only one who I had a slight problem with his performance, because his accent was terrible. I like Sacha Baron Cohen a lot, but he cannot do an American accent. In Who is America is terrible too. When I don't know how people were convinced that he was a real person. He can do other stuff, but oh my god, it was distracting. But other than that, like, I thought he embodied the character of Abby Hoffman, who I've seen in some of his speeches since, and I thought he got the spirit there, but he just not the voice. So this is a film that I would definitely recommend. I liked it a lot. It's for a courtroom drama that's over 2 hours and everything. I think it's possible that if done badly, it's really boring, but I didn't think that at all. I was very gripped throughout. It's not slow. There's so much to the story that it never felt like it was lagging behind. I thought it was just very gripping. I really want to know what happened, and then at the end, the only thing is at the end it's got like the text saying like what happened since, and because there's so many characters, I did have to like get up the Wikipedia to look at who was who, because I couldn't remember everyone's names. I knew Abby Hoffman because I'd actually kind of heard of him a little bit before. I knew about his book, Steal This Book. It's really good. I'd give it 5 stars. Yeah, not perfect, but pretty close to it. I'll be watching again at some point.